Alrighty guys, hello and welcome to a new series we're going to be calling In McDepth, where we take a topic we're either passionate about or something from a podcast that we want to just talk more about, like maybe a review or just like an overview on a certain topic, and talk about it a little bit more in detail. And they're usually just going to be with one person, either me, Tucker, or Patrick, and we're going to just be sort of giving our thoughts on a topic, sometimes scripted, sometimes unscripted, but we just want to use this as an opportunity to, create more like focused content. We're still going to be doing the podcast. We still like making the podcast. It's really fun. But, we wanted to branch out, make some other content too, some reviews here and there, just individual thoughts, giving out, just trying some new things on the channel. So in today's episode of In McDepth, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Pokemon games, sort of the where they've been going, how they've been sort of received, why I'm excited for the new ones that are coming out. So I'm going to be starting off by talking about the jump from 2D to 3D. So this was really the first big innovation when it came to the Pokemon games, the jump from the original 2D RPGs on the Game Boy and the DS to the 3D RPGs on the 3DS and the new 3DS. So really, the first big change was obviously the visual style of the game. Not much else, like combat-wise, changed. They did add some new Pokemon types, but I mean, that's really just par for the course. They're just adding more mechanics to the game to make it feel new and, balance it a little bit better, things like that. The biggest issue, in my opinion, when they jumped from 2D to 3D was the overall design of the games became much more linear. For example, in the first, Pokemon game, Pokemon's Red and Blue, you could actually do some of the gyms in, whatever order you wanted. I believe after you got your 3rd or 4th gym badge, you could pretty much tackle, I think it was like the middle 3 gyms in whatever order you wanted. So you had a little bit of freedom there. But as the games, kept going, they got progressively more and more linear. Really, it started with the X and Y games and just sort of kept going until we got to where we are today, where the map is literally just a straight line up and down. So to me, that sort of took away a little bit of the magic from the Pokemon games. There was less to explore. When you went on a route, it was just a route. It was just a road that took you from one place to the next place, and there wasn't really anything to do or find there. Whereas in the Gen 5 games and in the Gen 4 games and the games before that, you go on a route, there were branching paths, there were Pokemon to find, and there's still Pokemon to find in the new games. I'm not saying there's no Pokemon, but, there was other things to do. There were NPCs to interact with. It just felt like there was more to explore, and it felt like it rewarded you more for choosing to explore. For example, in the Gen 5 games, in the first couple of routes, if you, weave your way through, you can eventually find yourself like a Keldeo hidden in the woods, like back behind some of the routes. If you go exploring in the ocean, you could find a cave with the Reggies in it, and you had to solve like a little puzzle to do it. There was a lot of things to do and a lot of things to explore, and the game rewarded you for exploring. But in the more recent games, the Pokemon, Sun and Moons, Pokemon Sword and Shield, oftentimes it feels like it almost punishes you for exploring. It almost makes you feel like you've wasted your time because there's just so little to find. And I believe like the penultimate example of this is really the wild area where, yes, in theory, in concept, it should be the most like exploration you can possibly do. It's an open world, sort of. You got the camera control, you can go anywhere you want in this little area. But there's nothing to find, and that's really the shame of it. I mean, you can look just at the landmarks on the map, like you see the little castle in the corner. You spend your time going over to the castle, and once you get there, there's nothing there. It's just a blank. There's just nothing. There's some ghost Pokemon there, but there's no items to find. There's no quest to do. There's not even any NPCs in the castle. It's like, why did you even bother putting that on the map if you were just going to waste everyone's time with it? And I think that problem has sort of become more and more pervasive as the time's gone on. I mean, obviously, if you take something as expansive as the wild area and you manage to put so little in it that you feel almost ashamed just for exploring it because of how little there is to find, that's a real problem. At least to me, I think it's a problem. A lot of the reason I enjoyed the Pokemon games is because you sort of felt like you were really exploring this real world. And as the games have gotten progressively more linear, it's felt like there's, less to explore, less to see, and, it's a real shame to me. Now, I want to talk a little bit about why I'm excited for Pokemon Legends Arceus and this new open world concept. Now, to me, personally, I feel like the jump from 3D linear to 3D open world is far more innovative and important than the jump from 2D to 3D. When the games jumped from 2D to 3D, they were more or less the same games, just more linear and in a 3D art style. Whereas jumping from 3D to open world, or from linear to open world, it gives you a lot more options in terms of game design. There's more you can do, there's more you can see. You can populate the world and you can add new mechanics on how you explore it and how you interact with it. it gives you a lot more options. It makes the world feel more real and more explorable, which, like I said, has become less and less of something that they deem important at Game Freak when they're making the worlds. And I think open world lends itself incredibly well to Pokemon, with the varied environments and the varied creatures you can find all over the world. For example, there's sand Pokemon that, live in a sand biome. There's water Pokemon. The Pokemon experience itself is almost tailor-made to make you want to explore the world, because there's something to find everywhere, or at least there should be. And I think in an open world, that would be heightened to, its maximum potential, where you have this crazy open world where you can go anywhere, do anything, and there's the increased incentive of different Pokemon being in different environments, which gives you even more reason to go and explore the open world. I feel like one of the core elements to a Pokemon game is making you feel like you're on an adventure. And nothing really feels more adventurous than having a big open world to explore. I mean, I'm sure most of you have played Breath of the Wild, and you know that experience of walking out of the, Resurrection Chamber and seeing that open world for the first time, when you really, that's when you really sort of first understand, wow, I really can go anywhere, do anything. It feels very liberating, very exciting. And I think Pokemon especially would lend very well to that. Now, I'm not sure if this open world concept will really sort of, become the main format for the Pokemon games. In my opinion, I think Game Freak and the Pokemon Company are probably going to keep the core Pokemon games the same as they've always been, just, a turn-based RPG with, a linear map, and you go to the gyms and you do whatever the gym challenge is. Like, I know in Gen 8 they had the Island Challenge, which was like slightly different, but really they were just gyms, but slightly easier. And I'm pretty sure that they're going to keep that format going. I don't see them messing with that much, but I feel like Legends, or at least the way I think Legends probably happened, is it seems like the devs at Game Freak and at the Pokemon Company were sort of getting tired with the same game releasing every year, and they wanted a little bit more creative freedom. And I think Pokemon Legends is a great way to sort of break that wheel of, making the same game every year. I feel like Pokemon Legends gives them an opportunity to not spend, 1 year making a game, so you sort of have to make a lot of compromises. And, if you have more time than that, you can do a lot more. You can make a more interesting game, because you have more time to develop the game, you have more time to flesh out the ideas, you have more time to do more things. I mean, I feel like the time crunch is probably the main reason for the lack of innovation in Pokemon. When you only have a year to make a game, you lose a lot of the ability to create new ideas and fully develop them. If you only have a year of time, you can't really fully develop new ideas. It's a real shame, because you spend all that time just churning out the game and a lot less time actually building the game and like fleshing out the ideas and the mechanics behind it and making it interesting. You're just sort of more focused on, coding the game and getting it out there and getting it ready and making it playable. So I'm hoping that going forward, the Pokemon Legends sort of moniker becomes sort of a way for Game Freak and the Pokemon Company to innovate in the space of Pokemon. So they can, try new ideas, do new things, make more interesting games, whereas they keep maybe the core RPGs pretty much the same thing. And maybe over time, some of those ideas from Pokemon Legends will drip into the main games. At least that's where I see them going in the future as time moves on. So, give me your thoughts. What do you guys think? Do you think that Pokemon lends well to a open world experience? Do you think that Pokemon Legends has potential? Do you think you're just going to stick with the core RPG games? Do you care at all? Do you even like this content? Let me know in the comments below. Give a like or, something, just so we get some more interaction in the algorithm. You know how it is. And yeah, we'll see you guys later.